Hello and welcome back to the channel, and today I'll be doing a video against my will, but I have to do it in fairness to all my Ohio State fans out here. It will be the Ohio State video. Now, I'll do it like every other video. Obviously, I am a Michigan fan, so I want that out in front because I've been accused of being biased in the past, but I like to say that I'm openly biased, so I think that makes it okay, if that makes any sense. For the transfer portal class for Ohio State, they brought in a lot of defensive help because Lord knows they needed it. They brought in Davison Igbogneson from Ole Miss, Jihad Carter from Syracuse. He's a safety, and then a corner for Igbogneson. A inside lineman from San Diego State, Josh Simmons, who my boy Zay says is trash. So. Then they also brought in Lorenzo Styles, another receiver from Notre Dame. Tywone Malone from Ole Miss, defensive lineman. He's going to be a big addition. And then they lost some other guys. But realistically, most of what they were doing here is they brought in a lot of guys on the defense and O-line because they looked at what happened against Michigan last year. And Lord knows they needed help up front in the secondary and on the offensive line. Everything else is pretty good, right? I mean, let's be frank here. Ohio State's got an unbelievable receiver room. They've got a very deep running back room. They are very hurt a lot, but they've got the talent in those two major skill positions. It's just the question under center. That's the whole thing. I'm trying to think the last time Ohio State didn't know who their quarterback was and they weren't confident about it. I know that sometimes there might have been one battle back in the day between some of these guys, but they're both unbelievable talents, right? With J.T. Barrett, Cardell Jones, all those guys, right? And it's like, okay, cool. But now you're between a third-year guy, hasn't played a snap yet, real snap, right? Kyle McCord, and then you got Devin Brown. And as of now, I believe it's going to be Kyle McCord, but I'd be more scared of Devin Brown. If this dude's coming in from Utah, we're in 33, there's something about that, But I don't think Kyle McCord's going to be, I don't think it doesn't put the fear of God in me, right? That normally I look up and down that roster of Ohio State and you're like, oh my God, it's littered with first-round picks. They got a Heisman quarterback. They've got a wannabe Heisman receiver. They've got some crazy running back. Like back when it used to be obviously a few years ago, like Curtis Samuel. You've got J.K. Dobbins. You've got Justin Fields. You've got even farther back. Oh, here comes Zeke Elliott. All these guys where it's like I'm terrified of these players. And I don't know if they have that many this year. Obviously, Marvin Harrison might be the best of those guys I listed. Dude is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, one of the best players I've ever watched. I mean, his God-given ability is unbelievable. I think that he's going to do everything and more to what he did last year, especially if he's got that high school chemistry with Kyle McCord, which is a big thing to factor in. But as for the regular recruiting, they were first in the Big Ten. Once again, they had 20 commits, 1 5-star, 18 4-stars, and 1 3-star. So a lot of depth there in the 4-star position, which is pretty good. Bryant Hartline doing his thing out there is the 6th recruiter ranking right now. 5th overall. They had 20 commits. Let's see who their commits were. 5-star receiver Brandon Inniss. Once again, bringing in an unbelievable receiver. I'm imagining he'll maybe see the field this year. I'd be surprised if he doesn't. They brought in Carnell Tate, Noah Rogers, 2 more receivers. They got a corner out of Cincinnati, Ohio, Jermaine Matthews. Another corner, Calvin Simpson-Hunt. So you can kind of see that their focus has changed a little bit. They're getting 2 corners of their top 5. And outside of those guys, they got 3 more receivers. So, a 5-star and 2 4-stars. So some big guys there doing their same thing, but it's under center is the question. Will Devin Brown or McCord be enough? Because, if they have that offense humming, their defense can usually figure it out. They have figured out the defense a little bit more. Another year under Jim Knowles, very good defensive coordinator. I know he got made fun of last year. My favorite clip was when Joel Klatt's like, this is why you brought him in. You need to stop here. And then Don went on another touchdown run. Sorry for rubbing it in Ohio State, but I have to. It's my job. But yeah, they've brought in some more defensive guys. They're starting to think about defense more. And in their 2024 commits, obviously you just got Bryce West. You have Jeremiah Smith already. You just got Justin Scott out of nowhere, 5-star defensive lineman. Aaron Nolan, great name, good quarterback. I mean, I can't say too much about him without getting too nice there. But they got another 5-star, Mylan Graham, receiver. James Peoples, good running back. Not the one they wanted, but, and neither was Aaron Nolan. It wasn't the quarterback they wanted. They wanted Michigan's guys, Jaden Davis and Jordan Marshall. But they end up getting Bryce West and Aaron Scott. In addition to the corner they just got the other day, I forgot who he was. That's scary, right? They're be getting in-state guys to stay in-state, and they're recruiting high-level defensive talent at the level they used to. And that defenses they used to have were pretty scary as well. You know, the Nick Bosas, Chase Young, Joey Bosa, obviously, and a few other guys, right? And it's like, okay, these are really elite players, and they can stop you as well as score 100. And that was their whole thing, is they could always run it with the big dogs, and Michigan can never really get to that level, which as we clearly have seen in the playoff the last 2 seasons. That being said, this is one of the more loaded Ohio State teams outside of that, right? I'm looking at it here on this board here. They've got 8 potential first-round picks. According to this ESPN mock draft by Jordan Reed, they've got 5 players in the top 20, right? Marvin Harrison, Emeka Egbuka, JT Tuimoloau, Michael Hall, Denzel Burke, Travion Henderson, Jack Sawyer, Donovan Jackson. All of those guys could go in the first round. Do I think they will? No. I mean, the fact that you have 8 guys going in the first day, first 2 days is unbelievable. Good for the program, good for those kids. But if you lose to Michigan for a 3rd straight season with this stacked of a team, I don't know what happens, man. I know you can't really fire Ryan Day. Could you demote him and then bring in someone else to kind of figure out what's going on? But he's recruiting well. He's doing his thing. I mean, that defensive line is much better. I mean, even Tommy Eichenberg is back. Cade Stover, tight end, I haven't talked about yet. He's real good. Good safety valve for Kyle McCord. Mayan Williams, Travion Henderson, Chip Teranium, Dallin Hayden. That's 4 legit guys that have all taken big-time snaps in Big Ten games. So that's really deep for them. Their kicker situation, they lost their kicker from last year. They now bring in Jaden Fielding, I believe, is going to be the kicker. Hopefully he doesn't miss another field goal to advance the championship game, but I don't think they'll get there. As for the schedule for the Ohio State Buckeyes, we're looking at their schedule here. At Indiana, obviously easy win. Youngstown State, easy win. Western Kentucky, easy win. At Notre Dame. So this is your first true test, all right? It's in week 4. You can out-talent pretty much every team on your roster, but we'll see how it happens in Notre Dame. I think it's going to be a bit tougher than a lot of Ohio State fans think. I don't think it's one of those games where they're never going to be in doubt of losing, but it's going to look like it could be closer than it is. Like we saw last year, right? The scoreboard made it seem like it was really close. I mean, Notre Dame was within the number the entire game, but it never really was like, oh my God, they're going to win this game, right? Notre Dame was very much the second best team the entire night. Ohio State was in firm control the entire time. So I think a similar thing happens there. At Maryland, or home against Maryland, easy win. At Purdue, easy win. Home against Penn State. It'll be a good gauge for Michigan, especially to see how Penn State does against them, because Penn State's like a Michigan light, run the football, play action, good defense, sort of thing like that, right? I think they'll take care of business there, no problem. Then they go to at Wisconsin, probably the biggest game of the season for Luke Fickell. He'll have the guys up there. A good revenge for Luke Fickell. I think this could be like a sneaky trap game. I love Wisconsin against the spread already. I don't know what it is, but I think it'll be closer. Mordecai could get it going. I think that could be a game they sneaky lose, and that's the game I seriously think they could lose. I know that's crazy by me, probably. If a lot of the Ohio State people are like, you're insane. We might lose to Michigan. We might lose to Penn State. Obviously, the real fans, you're all going to be like, we're going 12-0. And I get it, right? It's the correct thing to do as a fan. You're always going to go 12-0 until you're not, right? But I think Wisconsin has a better chance of beating Ohio State than Penn State, which might be an insane person take by me, but I'm just putting that out there. At Rutgers, obviously easy win. At night, home against Michigan State. I mean, it might be a 100-point blowout there. Could kill Mel Tucker on the field. Home against Minnesota. Maybe a bit of a trap game, because you got Michigan the next week, but I doubt it. And you can probably just bully them around. But Minnesota's got some big boys. They could keep it, interesting. Probably interesting for me is within 25-30. And then at Michigan, you're going to lose. Sorry. I mean, Michigan's got a better quarterback, better running back, not better receivers, way better offensive line, probably a pretty even defensive line. We got better linebackers and a better secondary, and hopefully better special teams. But I don't think many Ohio State fans really think that this is the year they're going to beat us. I know that you obviously will, but realistically, if you look it down, Michigan's favored, and they should win, right? Your hope here is to beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame does really well, and then beat Wisconsin and Penn State and get into the playoffs similar to last season. Get a rematch with Georgia, this time in the Sugar Bowl, and maybe you beat them. Because I don't think you win the Big Ten. I would be stunned if you beat us and won the Big Ten. So that's all I got for now. I do think Ohio State's going to go 11-1, maybe 10-2, but likely 11-1, and they'll win whatever bowl game it is. If they switch quarterbacks mid-season, maybe something else happens, but I think Aaron Nolan will come in and probably get the job as he walks in, hopefully for Michigan, because that would mean Kyle McCord and Devin Brown suck, but who knows, right? Would they fire Ryan Day in this scenario? No. If they lose multiple games in the regular season, maybe, but he's kind of got his swagger back. And I was talking this to a few of my Ohio State guys, Eli and Mr. Morals in the spaces, and it was like you could tell in that game against Georgia, he had so much more passion, so much more fire. He was going nuts. Everything was going crazy. A lot of emotion. Because you saw him against Michigan, he was a ghost. He was just like, and nothing ever happened, right? And then every play against Georgia, he's like, yeah, let's go. Come on. And he's going nuts. And it's like, okay, I'd like to see that. Obviously, I don't as a Michigan fan, but in general, right? You want to see your coach give some emotion and passion and all that. So hopefully he doesn't have a swagger back, but I think it'll be a different Ohio State team this year. I know they want to kind of pound the rock, run it more, and get back to what they used to do with a better offensive line, but their offensive line's objectively worse than last season, and their running backs can never stay healthy. So I think it's going to be a year or two shift. I think that they're loading up for next season. Obviously, it sucks. They're going to lose for them. They lose Marvin Harrison to the draft and a lot of the other guys to the draft, but Ohio State reloads like nobody else, right? Them, Alabama, and Georgia can just reload on command. So they'll get some more guys in next year, and I think their best shot is in the shoe next year. But we'll see how that all rolls out. Let me know down below what you think is going to happen. I know I'll probably get some more traffic on this video. Hopefully some of the Best Damn Media boys come in and see what's going on. But, I like to have calm and collected discourse before the season. Obviously, we can go nuts on the spaces during the season, but I do like to objectively look at this, and I think that this defense obviously is better. Offensive line, probably not. You bring back your tight end. Your quarterback is a big question. Running backs are nuts. Receivers are nuts. Can that lack of a quarterback, is that negated enough by the defense getting better? Who knows? But, hopefully I think Ohio State's best shot is Michigan losing to Penn State and getting in a three-way tie. And then I don't know how a three-way tie works, but we'll get it. We'll reach it when we get there. So thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Let me down below again what you think. It doesn't matter if it's bad. That other video I did last week, Monday, with Michigan went crazy. So, hey, hopefully you guys returned and you can now be happy that I'm giving you some props here, Ohio State. But sorry for the crazy title. But, the game's the game. Like and subscribe. See you next time. Peace.